Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Render, TAO, Kaspa and ONDO. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So let's just jump into Render. So we have said about Render that we have a good chance getting an inverted head and shoulders formatation, but for that we have to break the $4.23 to the upside. So we had to break it right here, not this one here. This is not the breakout of the inverted head and shoulders formatation. So we invalidated that pattern even before breaking to the upside. So I can take this one out, this one too. So I also don't like the bull flag anymore. It doesn't have any kind of value. Why that? Because in the first case, okay, we dropped lower than that. Here was our resistance. We pushed. Wait, I have to do it again. So we broke here to the downside and we got our bounce. Here we got rejected. And then we got a break in again into the bull flag, got our retest, broke here to the downside, got our retest again. Here got rejected, means resistance. And here again, breakout, retest. So this bull flag, yeah, it has some meaning, but not in the way of a bull flag. Yeah, it is just a trend line, which has some importance, but the pattern is gone. So we don't have a bull flag anymore. I can just put here a trend line instead, which to be honest don't have any kind of value in my opinion anymore. But what we can do now is we can wait. We can wait because this here might be an head and shoulders formatation. And since the right shoulder is within some kind of an rising wedge, so the structure here should symbolize a very weak and corrective movement to the upside. If we break it to the downside, I don't want to say we have any kind of issues. The breakout would be $4.05. If we break to the downside, then I'm not going to short it. But what I want to short is the breakout lower than $3.90, the $3.90. If we get a sustainable breakout there to the downside, you can see how often on the left side we got rejected there, and you can see how often we got support right here and support right here. Here quite often had issues breaking it to the upside. So this is the key level, $3.90. If we want to be bullish, we have to hold it. If we want to short it, then we would be happy if it breaks to the downside. Because the target is going to be, and I just take the length of the left shoulder, not even the head. So I'm not taking the most bearish scenario. Just the left shoulder, we put it to the breakout point and it goes exactly into a fair value gap at $3.40. I will put you here 2 price marks. So you have that fair value gap marked. So basically, what can I say about Render? Not much. Yeah, I don't have any kind of long entries which I would look for. I don't like this trend line here. I don't like this one. This one here looks better in my opinion. But I want to see to have a validated trend line. I want to see getting there, rejected, and afterwards a breakout. If this is going to happen, then this trend line is going to get green in my opinion. If it's not going to happen, then this trend line is not worth it in my opinion, and we have to look for better entries. So what about TAO? TAO looks a bit more different and also messy. So with that here, let's just delete this one, because here we have set rising wedge. If it breaks to the downside, $429 US, then we should drop to the red trend line, $404 again. So let me delete this one so we can see a bit more in this chart. So this one here as well. We broke a big rising wedge here to the downside, but the breakout to the downside wasn't clean in my opinion. Instead, what did we form? a falling wedge, which looks pretty good in my opinion, broke to the upside, got its retest, and now we are struggling breaking the 436 US dollars to the upside. This is the breakout point which I want to trade, because double, triple bottom pattern. That doesn't matter what kind of double or triple bottom pattern, what is really the case, both are the same, both have the same target. So what I can also say is double top pattern. So we have a rectangle, and that rectangle, it depends when we are going to break out, then not when, it means in which direction we break out, because we have now two targets. The first one is we break the 436 US dollar to the upside, and then we have two targets here, the falling wedge and the rectangle. The target is going to be the 470 US dollar to 475 US dollar. If that is going to happen, then this rising wedge in orange gets invalidated, so this chart pattern didn't work, and we have a good chance getting up to 495 US dollar or $96. If that breaks to the upside, then I think, and you can already see it, where the target is going to be, it's going to be between 830 US dollar to 745 US dollar and also 680 US dollar. So a big movement. But we have to break the 496 US dollars to the upside. And before we break the $496 to the upside, we have to break the $436 to the upside. So if the $436 breaks to the upside, I can try an early entry, because the way up to 496 US dollars is still 13% away. And I want to have that 13% in my pocket. And if we also break here to the upside, then I can double up my position and I have more space to the downside, because then my average entry would be somewhere here and I can set my stop loss here. So I can give the trade a bit more space to develop another pattern without getting in losses. So basically that's a good setup. But on the other side, if we break the $404 to the downside, then this rectangle is going to get activated, or even shoulder, head, shoulder. So in head and shoulders formatation, if that breaks to the downside, target $371 for the rectangle and for the size of the left and right shoulder. There you can see it. The left shoulder has the same length of the right shoulder. Or if we are more bearish, then we can take the head. I don't want to take this one here. I will take this one here. I don't want to be too bearish, because that usually doesn't work quite often. Sometimes yes, more often no. But the least bearish targets should work quite often. So you can already see it. We have a huge amount of fair value gaps. If I go into the 4-hour chart, then you can see it starting. Why is it even here? Starting from 363 US dollar down to 330 US dollar. So if we get the breakout lower than $404.70, the chance is very high that we should get a quite quick sell-off into the area right here, where I've put you the two price marks. So what about Kaspa? So let me see. Double bottom pattern. We need the breakout. And the breakout is going to be the 10 cents. So it's also a psychological price mark. If we get a breakout here with a retest, I'm going to be into a long position. The target is going to be the 10.5 cents. I even expect 10.6 cents. If we also break it to the upside, then I would say 11.6 cents is going to get the target. And I also want to increase my position size once we break the 10.6 cents sustainable to the upside. On the other side, if we break the 9.3 cents to the downside, then it's not going to look good, because here you can see it with many touch points. we would, if we break it to the downside, then we are back into our chart pattern, the inverted head and shoulders formatation, where we already worked off the length of one shoulder, but we are still missing the length of the whole head, and the length is 12.2 cents. Maybe, but only maybe, this top was already the top. Means that's what I have told you with TAO. I don't want to take the most bearish scenario, but on the other hand, I don't want to take the most bullish scenario because they not often get hit. So basically, it might be possible that we don't reach this anymore. Here was our top, and we are going to sell off. That's why I want to wait for the breakouts. First sign would be the 10 cents. There I would step into a long position, a smaller one, to catch this uptrend. If it's going to happen, pretty good. If not, then I'm not going to lose much money. So the risk to reward ratio is quite good with my setup, in my opinion. And once we break the 9.3 cents to the downside, I don't see any kind of chart pattern. I don't want to count this as an head and shoulders formatation. But yeah, well, we have to see for Kaspa if we develop different bearish chart patterns which direct us into specific targets, and then we can even short it. So what about ONDO? For ONDO, we have said if the $1.04 breaks to the downside, then we should see the 98.25 cents again. That's what happened. I wanted to see there a nice impulsive movement to the upside, but the movement is just within some kind of a rising wedge. This rising wedge is not looking good in my opinion. Yeah, it's not tradable at all, to be honest, because I don't want to trade in that market stage those 5% while we have many stop loss orders probably here, so we can always bounce like this. Yeah, we have to see. But once the 98.25 cents breaks to the downside, then I'm in for a short trade. Because I see here an head and shoulders formatation, which then breaks to the downside, and we take the left shoulder, not the whole head. So if we take the whole head, we have even more downside potential. So target is going to be the 87 cents, but you also see the circle here. There are fair value gaps. And if we just take the length of the head, not the full range, just starting from the resistance here, let's see where it's going to get us into the fair value gap. So once the 98.24 cents breaks to the downside, I'm in for a short trade for ONDO into the area 85 cents to 78 cents. This can also just be the second retest of a big falling wedge, which we have here in orange. And it wouldn't be also a problem because we have here the double bottom pattern, which didn't break to the upside yet. We have to wait for the $1.13.5 breaking to the upside, and I don't just want to see some candle closes over it. That's what I want to see, but I want to see the retest as a confirmation. For sure, we can always be too bullish and just go like this. Then then it's not tradable in my set with my setup or with my risk management. Not tradable. Maybe with yours could be also possible. But I always want to wait for the retest because there is the most risk to reward ratio. And yeah, if we drop to 78 cents, this would just be the second retest of an falling wedge, but this would also be a higher low to this one. So basically afterwards, we can have the strength to break the $1.13.5 to the upside. If we do, $1.60 to $1.80 is my target for ONDO. So huge profitable trades are possible, but we have to be a bit more patient. We also have weekend, so let's see, maybe we get a crazy Sunday tomorrow. Yeah, that also happens sometimes. But I want to get surprised. I'm also in some long trades, I have also saved all of them with a stop loss in profits. So basically I would just, relax a bit, look what the chart is going to tell me, and then I'm going to prepare new entries or exits. So with that said, I wish you a nice weekend and we see each other tomorrow.